all 7 poles. And I will tell you, I think it's because of what you all stand for in this community. Number one, you're not asking for special treatment, you're just asking for common sense. Yes. You want your neighborhoods and the Chinatown International District to be clean and safe. You want to see people out of tents and get treatment. You want, it's common sense, you want effective public safety, 7-minute response times. You want opportunities for your children. Many of us came to this country for those very simple things. And I will tell you that you have warmly embraced me. The good news is I know most of you because I've been elected 3 times before. But this morning at a gathering where I saw many of you, I said, I just want you to think of two words: new partnerships. Now let me explain what I mean by that. Many of you may know in the Chinatown International District, there used to be, and I see some gray hair out there, so I'm going to lose the younger generation on this one. There used to be a flower shop named Garland Florists. So that was my mother's sister. And then the Jack Habu, that was my mother's brother. And so I'm no stranger to the community. But interestingly enough, many of you know I'm biracial, and that my first cousin, Marjorie Shinbo was her maiden name, she married Murray Marr, a Chinese gentleman. They have 2 wonderful children. So they are half Chinese and half Japanese, and in my generation, that was sort of like a weird thing to do. We are becoming stronger together, still preserving our differences, but celebrating what we have in common. And so when we talk about our Asian heritage, we will celebrate our differences. We will preserve that which is precious to you. Your homeland, where you come from, your struggles, your challenges. But guess what? It has to lead to what we have in common. I don't know this young man right here. I can see he's in pretty good shape. He's a handsome guy. But I would rather talk to this young man about what we have in common, not what we have in why we're so different. That is the path that we're gonna find together in Seattle. We're gonna embrace one another. They will know our culture. They will know why we work so hard, why we came over here for opportunities. I will tell you 2 words: new partnerships. And I'm not afraid to say that we have to get people out of tents and off the streets and get them the mental health counseling, the drug addiction counseling, the mental illness counseling that they most desperately need. I'm not afraid to say that we're not going to defund the police. We are going to reimagine what the best police department in the country can look like here, because we have all the ingredients here. We've been around Seattle a long time like me. We remember that we are first and foremost a port city. We're a maritime city. We're built on trade. And in 1962, I'm not going to ask who was around then. I was. A few of you were. Someone said, let's build a space needle. Let's be a city of innovation, a forward thinking. And then for maritime and port and industry, we built aerospace and high tech and biotech and a great university system. We have all of the ingredients here. Salt water, fresh water, mountains. We have all of the components here in a city where we shouldn't have to see people living in cars. It's disgraceful. Right. And I know this community. Now I'll close by saying this. This is a loving community. Now, to win, I'm going to have to give more than just a fancy speech. The money that we raise goes to voter contact. It's going to go to TV and commercial. We won the primary in first place out of 15 people, and we didn't even outspend people that spent more money than us. But we will spend money in this general, which is about 45 days. On October 8th, we have a huge function. I hope to see all of you there. I don't care how much money you give it. At least we can eat some food together. That's going to be at China Harbor on October 8th. I'm just plugging that now. Okay, China Harbor, October 8th. October 8th. I have an echo. Let's do that again. October 8th, China Harbor. China Harbor, October 8th. Yeah, that works. But we're going to have fun. And I will tell you, we're going to laugh again as a city. Yes. We're going to laugh again as a city. I always tell folks, you know, there's human experiences we've all had. We've lost loved ones. We've counseled some in the moment of transition and the moment of death. We've kissed goodbye people who we loved. And we've had separations in our life, new life, graduations, etc. That is that human experience that I talked about. We're going to laugh again in this city. And we're not going to lose games in overtime like we did in the Seahawks. We're going to make our extra points every time. That was painful. But someone asked me, who's a great leader? And I would say Pete Carroll. I used to say Russell Wilson, but then they said, well, that means you're running around like you're out of control. But Pete Carroll finds a way to get the best out of everybody. That's what I have to do as the mayor. I have to find a way to get the best out of everybody. So I thank you for your support.
Thank you, Bruce.
Housing. But the thing is, the homeless folks don't want it. So what are you planning to do to get them to take advantage of these different services?
So the question, just so you didn't hear about it, is what about people that just refuse to take services? What can we do about that? That's really the question. So first of all, statistically, only about 1 or 2% of the people refuse services. So let's make that clear, that a lot of them are what clinicians could call social deviants. I don't particularly like that word, but they're in denial and they refuse. And I said it on a press conference. I don't know how else to say it other than there has to be consequences for that, because you do not have a right to be on public space. You do not have the right to obstruct justice. And so I will hire some of the best social workers, the best clinicians, to make sure we reach that person. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I've had people close around me that have had drug addiction issues and mental illness. And I'm not a stranger to people around me. And many of them, they're in denial. And so what we have to do is refuse to let anyone slip between the cracks. So I have to say this. And one thing I always tell my 3 kids, never let anyone make a liar out of you. So I try to always speak with integrity. I will say this, that if I solve this problem at 98% and only 2% are refusing service, I think we've done a pretty damn good job, number one. But number 2, then let me work on that 2%. Now I walk with faith. I answer to higher being that's in this room, and I just figure that the right people, the right talent, the right leaders, the right energy can even help me reach that 2%. Because I refuse to lose our city. And that's what we're having now. We're losing the city. We're losing the soul of this city. And we got to be honest about that. So the 2%, we will be very aggressive in how we treat them, and we'll look at best practices throughout this country.
Okay, one more. Another great supporter of Edmonds and the Seattle area, Will Chen. Let's give him a round of applause.
Mr. Harrell, thank you so much for your leadership. My question is also on homelessness. You were on the council and as a leader of the city for many years. And Seattle had done over $200 million into this issue, and you were on the council as a leadership. I know you have plans, but please explain how you would do differently as a mayor to solve this issue. I think you touched on that a little bit already, but is that leadership role change to give you different tools, or is there a different philosophy that you're using?
Thank you for that question, and I'm going to answer that directly, and I hope you like my answer, but it may hurt you a little bit. I also want to acknowledge Peter Steinberg running for port here, my dear friend who I am supporting, Peter Steinberg. And I have my team out there, but they don't like me to introduce them. So this is what I'm going to say to my fellow leader. That I was on the council for 12 years. I was the 4th person to be elected city council president twice. I hold a Juris Doctorate degree and a master's degree in organization design and improvement. I finished valedictorian in my class while I was the MVP in 3 sports. I was a managing partner of a downtown law firm and a chief counsel of a major corporation in technology. I'm not a dummy. And I work hard. And I tell people that the problem was exacerbated in the last 10, 20 years, but all the council member does is pass a law and allocate the budget. So when they challenge my record, I say, what law do you want me to pass? Because we have all the right laws in the books. What budgetary allocation needs to be made, because we were very smart when I was on the council about allocating the budget. You didn't hear us talking about defunding the police when I was on the council. You heard us putting in the money for effective police officers. You heard us putting in $150, $200 million to solve the problem. You saw us implement a Housing First program where you house them first and then you treat them secondly, as opposed to conditioning their housing on their current condition. That's a Housing First approach. We then said, well, wait a minute, we got 84 square miles in the city. We have to look at this regionally, because if we build it just in Seattle, we're not looking at the regional issues. The point is what? The point is we have the right policies in place and we have enough money to do it. The executive's role is to direct the departments to do the work. And that's something that I could not do as a city council member. It's a total different role. It's a total different jurisdictional empowerment, if you will. So that is the challenge. And I will tell you, if you think you are frustrated, or you are frustrated, or you are frustrated with what you see, imagine how I feel, how I felt. I was born on Capitol Hill. I used to go downtown with my mother and father safely and get a root beer float at Woolworths. I mean, I can tell you stories of parks that I would play in that I can't play in anymore. So my frustration on the city council was high. And so when I address that question, I always tell folks, but I stood up for this job, right? I'm running for mayor at a time where, quite frankly, I don't think any of you wanted this job. But I told my family this, that I will do this job if I have a community with me. And I will tell you this, I am far from perfect. I'm probably one of the most imperfect people in here. So I'm going to say, if I make a mistake, it's not because I didn't do my homework, I didn't lead from my heart, I didn't ask for help. It's because I'm human. But I will tell you one thing, what you will get out of me is action, action, action. Those two words that I said, new partnerships. That's what this community means to me. All those pictures that we're taking, every time that flash goes off, it's just a reminder to me that I'm developing new friends, new partnerships. And for me, some of us, to use a football metaphor, we're in the fourth quarter. We're trying to get it overtime. But it's for this younger generation, right? They shouldn't have to see the city like that. They shouldn't have to see the city like that. So as we approach, forget that, we're in the third quarter. We're in the third quarter. As we approach the fourth quarter, we're going to build a better game for these young folks. Thank you very much for the question. I really appreciate it.
Okay, moving on. Thank you. We have Mr. Ken Wilson running for position number 8. Number 8.
Well, Ken Wilson.
Okay, and Ken, please say a few words.
Hey, thanks so much for letting me at least have these couple words, and thanks so much for that great lead off. I don't want to hold you long. I know we're ready and things like that. Retrofit and driven across them, you don't know it. But now is time to kind of act and try and do something. It's a very different time, and I was talking with Bob about this. I'm not political. We don't put things in our front yard, but now is the time we have to step up, and we have to all of us start acting a little differently. So what I'm asking from you today is if you would take the chance to look at my website, try and get to know me. And if you see something that you like or you want to ask me questions, do it and I'll respond. Come on back, give me a chance, and definitely I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for you to think about me, talk to your friends about me, try and give me a name that we can actually start being part of this council. I'm very different than incumbents sitting there, and we just can't wait one more time for 911 to not be answered and the police to not be funded. We need someone on that council that's going to help support Bruce and get him where we need to go. Thanks so much for this.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
I have to say that. And I want to also acknowledge my former colleague David Della on the Seattle City Council, where I served for 10 years. I've had the pleasure of knowing Bruce for many years. He and I are kindred spirits. And I came here not to toot my own horn, but to sing Bruce's praises. I don't think after you listen to him, you know of another more inspiring candidate for mayor who's going to win this race and is going to lead our city out of the malaise that it is in currently. It has been due to ineffective plain bad leadership. We've seen enough of it, we've had enough of it. Bruce has got the values, the integrity, he's collaborative, he is a coalition builder, he's cross-cultural, he's not a single issue candidate, and he has the experience to get the job done in a way that this great city deserves. A new leader for the challenges that we face that are unprecedented. So that's my pitch. I don't think I can do better than Bruce, because he gave us a great talk tonight, and I'm so supportive of him, I can't tell you. I've never known another candidate locally who I've felt more strongly about than I do about Bruce for this time, for this city, for our city, and he's going to lead the way. So thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Peter.
Sponsor is Bob here and friend John, and I want to say very quickly, I know everybody's hungry, but I don't know about you. I am so tired of the Seattle being run by a bunch of left wing. I am just so tired. The homeless, the Asian people get beat up, and everything's happened to us. Here today, I have a lot of good friends here, a lot of my friends in here. I think we ought to get together and run and let the right people to run the city. Think of it. So we need Bruce Harris, the person that run the city for the 12 years and have done a great job. And then also, we have Wilson, we have Peter Steinberg, we have Ken Wilson. We need the right people to run the city. Let's run together and work together and vote together and do the right thing. Thank you.
Well said.
I'm not pretty sure very dangerous move to ask the old crumpy old man to make the speech.
Oh, no. Come on, you have Bruce here. We want to hear from you. You're a businessman.
But I'm willing to sacrifice because this gentleman, Bruce, you can see the primary of the August election, 15 candidates, only one person had vision and courage against the so-called new trend. And the result, you can see, majority of us is tired. We are silent majority, and we are both groups. And you are the person we looking for. And hopefully you can remember, unify the city, and restore the city, and take back the city, the beautiful city. You have our support. Go Bruce. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We want to start the buffet line. We want to start with